When we look ahead to 2026, the economic story is shaping up in an interesting way. We're likely to see relatively strong productivity growth, which should support higher output and corporate profits, but not necessarily more jobs. In fact, the first quarter of the year could end up being the strongest. Growth may begin to slow as we move into the spring and summer, and policy decisions could easily disrupt this outlook. One wild card to watch closely is the court system. If the courts decide that tariffs function as a tax, and that only Congress has the authority to set tax rates, that could introduce real uncertainty into the economic picture. So how does this play out across different regions of the country? The Midwest, with its strong manufacturing base, is likely to see some of the largest productivity gains. Economic growth there could approach 2.5%, helping support consumer demand even if job growth is relatively modest, possibly around 100,000 new jobs. That combination could also bring back a modest uptick in inflation. At the other end of the spectrum is the East-South Central region, including Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi, which historically see lower productivity gains. The broader southern region could still experience solid growth, potentially around 2.2%. The Northeast, which is more heavily weighted towards service and finance, may also grow near 2.2%. However, that outlook depends heavily on the financial markets. If companies see profits squeezed and choose to absorb higher costs rather than pass them on to the consumers, growth could come in lower. The West is the region to watch most closely. It may be the most vulnerable to an economic stall later this spring or summer. The key question is whether that slowdown stays contained or whether it spreads more broadly across the country. On the other hand, there's also the possibility that strength elsewhere, particularly in the Midwest, could eventually help pull Western states out of any economic soft patch. This is the broad outline of what could unfold in 2026. How it actually plays out, especially how it impacts financial markets, is going to be a story worth following closely. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need a clear framework. You can learn more and schedule a conversation at larreawealth.com. And I'll talk to you again soon.